What we're talking about today is probably not qualified as a war story because we're not talking about a specific incident or an event. This is more of an epiphany, a revelation, whatever your thesaurus wants to kick out at me. So take it as that. And I really didn't want to create a whole new category for this, and I really kind of didn't think it qualified on anything else. So yeah, that's why we're about to cue this credit. When I first started playing paintball many years ago, the first pair of shoes I ever played paintball in were tabby boots. Tabby boots. If I don't show you guys a picture, you have no idea what the hell I'm talking about. The other thing that I'd purchased from a surplus store were Vietnam era combat boots, aka the jungle boot. Yeah, if you've never worn a pair of Vietnam era combat boots, how can I describe this? Next time you're not doing anything, get yourself an old phone book, at least this thick, and strap that to your feet and walk around for a little while. You'll kind of get the gist. And the reason was actually fairly basic because the game was way different back then. You had 45-minute long games. Stealth was actually a huge thing. Being able to go through the nastiest crap on the field is another part of that. So I use the tabby boots all the time because I could actually feel the ground underneath my feet. It helped me be a lot more stealthy. And then you would wear the combat boots on those specific fields you're looking at going, those rocks are what shape? No, I'm going to go put protection on my feet. Yeah, that ended right quick when I slashed my foot open in Rochester that one time. And my mom made me promise to never wear tabby boots when I played paintball. So I kind of moved on to wrestling shoes. Again, much the same reason. It had a nice soft feel. I could feel the terrain underneath my feet. It had a little bit of ankle support. Not a heck of a lot of traction, but I was willing to sacrifice that because I preferred the stealth game. And then this revolution kind of crept into the mainstream of the sport. This came from the tournament world, and I think this is one of the good things that the tournament world brought into rec ball. Cleats. See, at the time, most of the tourney guys were going to the shoe stores right after football season ended, and they'd go buy up a bunch of football cleats, put those on, and play in them. Great idea, get a lot of traction, they're lightweight, not a lot of ankle support, but just enough. And this worked for a bunch of us rec ball players because most football cleats are almost all black. Just a little bit of white. You could either ignore that, put a little mud on it, take a Sharpie, and just kind of get rid of the black. That's what we did. This is back in the camo everything club days. Yeah, I outgrew that. So over the years, I've tried, let's see here, Nike, Reebok, Converse, Under Armour. I'll get to them in a minute. And I've also worn cleats from many different disciplines. Mostly, of course, football cleats because those are the ones that you can get easiest. But let's see, I've tried golf cleats. Worked out surprisingly well. Trail running shoes worked out really well. They actually made some paintball-specific cleats, and if I can find pictures of the old Diggers, of the old Tenel 360s, I'll show you guys that in a future video. And then there was the softball cleat incident, which I really love those, the metal spike cleats. Those were nice. Those are good. Until I rolled my ankle and snapped it. So for the longest time I was wearing football cleats when I would go out and go play. Well, this kind of changed the last 2 times that I went out to go play. See, I bought a pair of Under Armour football cleats figuring, hey, you know, this is a pretty good company, pretty reputable, this is what I'm going to wear. Yeah, and 2 times in a row, it ripped up the back of my ankle. And like an idiot, I kept on playing even with a raw, open ankle. I'm not sure if that says more about the cleats or myself. And before anybody asks, no, I don't remember the specific model name because the last time I went to the garbage dump, they were unceremoniously chucked into a big garbage bin. Unfortunately, this leaves me in kind of a void of what am I going to wear to play paintball in, and actually I've kind of answered that void with what I'm wearing right now. Combat boots. Alright, hang on, they're not exactly combat boots. They're more civilian models of combat style boots. And yeah, they're not exactly in black leather like the normal combat boots are. They're sort of in the desert storm kind of tan look. But it had all the features that I was looking for. It's got a lot of ankle support, some pretty good traction, and they're cheap enough that if I trash them in one summer, I'm not going to cry over it. And this leads me to the epiphany that I had. You see, because I was putting on these boots in order to just kind of break them in a little bit, like you do every time you buy a new pair of shoes. And it suddenly dawned on me that the priorities of the game have radically changed, and you can tell that by the footwear. The next time you go out and go play, do this for me. Look down, look at people's feet and see what they're wearing. You can see what their priorities are when they play. If it's a milsim guy, he's probably going to be wearing the black boots. If it's a speedball guy, he's probably wearing the low-top cleats. If it's a scenario guy, he might be wearing cleats, he might be wearing boots, whichever is more important to him. And this is something that is a conscious decision that somebody has to make because you don't change shoes in the middle of an event. And it dawned on me, I've kind of gone full circle here because I started playing this sneaky game, tried to get into a little bit of speed, tried to do the cleat thing, and now I'm back to the wood stealthy game. All in my shoes. So yeah, for the next season I'm just gonna beat the crap out of these things. But that being said, currently in the back of my Jeep, I still have my wrestling shoes.